Hello, folks. Rebecca Adams here, and look who I have with me. I have my famous sidekick, Becky Vermeire.
Woo!
Oh, we heard it. Yes.
I did it right.
Yes, you did. Awesome. The right pitch and everything.
Woo!
So, folks, we have an announcement. This is not a regular podcast. This is an announcement or a commercial or whatever you want to call it. First of all, I'm going to tell you the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Okay. Telling you now so that any of you that are fans of a different team, too bad, we're winning. All
You
right.
called it.
First thing. Yeah. Yeah. Mahomes. He's the dude. Okay. The second thing is I now finally have not only my book in print, Free to Soar. So this it has my story in it. It also has another section that defines every type of domestic violence, gives examples of each. Then it also has resources that you can go to that can help you no matter what stage you're in, where you need to go. And so I'm going to give you in the show notes, I'm going to have the link to this because it was just updated. If you go onto Amazon and you type in Free to Soar by Rebecca Adams, it's going to take you to my old book and it's going to say that it's no longer in print. It is. Make sure you use the link that's in this video. Now I also have the ebook, which is available. And then can I hear horns and a drum roll, please? We missed out on the drums, but away. I also now have the audiobook. It's finally done and it is available for you to get on Amazon as well. So that is going to be down here in the show notes. Um, what do you have to say, Miss Becky?
Do you know what I want to say?
What
I've read your book before.
have
I've
you?
heard you, of course, I've heard you give your testimony before. And here's what never ceases to amaze me. Every single time we talk about it and you mention it, it makes me want to read it again.
Wow.
And so that means something to me because I've read lots of books in my life that I enjoyed them, but I never wanted to pick them up again. But whenever we talk about your story and you talk about your book and the different versions, I'm like, I want to read that again.
Wow.
It's I'm impressed with the ability that you have to be just so vulnerable and truly just share who you are and your experience. And then knowing you now and seeing how you've grown and healed and evolved into the person that you are today, taking all of that past in consideration. It never ceases to amaze me. And so it always excites me when we talk about your book and the different versions that you have of it. It makes me want to read it again. But now, instead of reading it, I want to hear it. You read it to me. And
Yeah,
I'm
I,
excited about that.
I am the one who did the audio. I
Yeah.
couldn't find anybody to do it. So my friend kept telling me, I'm telling you, you're the one that needs to read this book. I'm like, I don't need to read this book. But I ended up doing it, and her husband was the one who did all the editing on that, did a great job.
Well, I
Um,
haven't had a chance to hear it yet, but I definitely want to listen to it. So
okay.
I'm excited that you have the audiobook out, and that will be the next thing I listen to.
And I don't know how much I clarified this, but um, I know I did in a couple of episodes. This is what the actual original book looked like. And as I went through and like when I did the audiobook, and I thought, I need to go and revisit this and update it.
Mhm.
So you can get the old version, I think, on Amazon, but the one that is available new on Amazon now is this one, which is the updated version.
Mhm.
So it brings it up to current times now. Um, and and also as I was redoing that, and I think we've talked about it before on the program, but when I initially wrote this book, I had been a victim of domestic violence for over 39 years.
Yeah.
Since then, when I went back, even before I went back and did the second edition, as I recalculated, it was like, no, wait a minute, because I
Right.
forgot about one particular relationship. And so I have been I am a survivor. I like to word it like that. I am a survivor of 48 years of abuse.
Wow.
And that just blows my mind.
Yes. Let me challenge that word survivor then, because I believe that people become victims to becoming survivors. And then I think there's that next level of thriver. And you're, in my mind, you are a thriver. And
Thank
so enduring 48 years of what you endured and knowing you today, you're a thriver. I'd own that. I'd own that. I'd put a label on
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take it. And I also want to update the people that have been watching us on these podcasts. And I think the last episode we did, I was saying that I was going to enter back into counseling, or I had started
Yeah.
back in. So I have
Yeah.
now been in counseling for a year, and I just love this lady. She is wonderful. She is a godsend, and I'm so grateful for her. So I'm
Yeah.
still doing counseling.
Good.
And it's the more we talk, the more gunk that gets dug up from underneath the ground, you know. And and so it's she said, yeah, we're going to be doing this for a while,
Yeah.
but I'm glad, because that's what I want. I
Yes.
want to get rid of it all. So
Yes.
one thing that we are working on right now is grieving, because I just felt after all of this 48 years, there's a
Hmm.
lot to grieve
Absolutely.
that I haven't grieved.
Yeah.
And so we're working on that right now. And wow, it's it's getting down into the trenches and having to use gloves because it's so dirty, you
Hmm.
know. You can't just
Yeah.
use your bare hands. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're making a lot of
Good.
progress. And I just encourage people to do that. If
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well, I've always believed that the healthiest people on the planet go to counseling.
I love it. When you said that the first time, oh my goodness, that just resonated in me.
Yeah.
True, very true.
And even if you're not working on a specific issue, a check-in every now and then is not a bad idea. The same way you take your car in for a tune-up, we
Mhm.
need to give a tune-up to our mental emotional health once in a while too.
That's really, really good advice.
Yeah.
Now you've got a degree, and it is, I hear a
Sorry,
drum,
I
I
was
hear a
thinking
drum
something
roll.
honorary when you said that.
Were you thinking deodorant again?
No. No, I was channeling something that my dad said that's not appropriate for this podcast.
Then we'll just erase dad out of that
Yeah, we
conversation.
might not include that part. Yes, I have a
Okay.
bachelor's degree in psychology, philosophy, and religion. Yeah.
Mhm. So because of that, you're able to really see and help everybody else around you. How about you? Do you go periodically?
I'm a hypocrite because I don't, but I'm very self-aware. And so I'm not afraid. I have a few trusted advisors in my life that aren't necessarily licensed counselors, but when I'm struggling with something, I'm the kind of person that I have to marinate on it for a while. When I'm ready to vocalize it, I've worked a lot of it out. I've always done things internally, but I still have a sounding board of here's where I'm at. This is what I'm feeling. Am I way off base? Am I anywhere near where I need to be? So I do mental health check-ins, yes, but not necessarily with a licensed counselor.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I just had something that came up today out of the blue, took me by
Mhm.
surprise. And so I took it to not necessarily an expert, but I took it to people that I trust. That
Right.
they know my situation, my background. They know my story. They've lived this right along with me.
Yeah.
Um, and I said, okay, this is, I'm really, really not even baby crawling on boundaries. And I said, is this is what I'm going to reply to this person.
Hmm.
Give me feedback on this. Is this
Yeah.
good? You know, because I trust them with those kind of things.
Right.
I need their feedback. And there was a song back in the 70s. Boy, am I dating myself. There was a song back in the 70s that was, we really do need each other. And it's so true,
Mhm.
you know. And I told him, I said, I need you ladies in my life. as my dear friends, you know.
Well, and that's what I mean by seeking counsel. It may not necessarily have to be professional counseling, but
Right.
I think that we should all continually be in a place where we're doing those mental health check-ins.
Mhm.
And so when we're struggling, we have people in our lives that are trusted. I use the word advisors, but they're counselors. They're people that we look to as our emotional support people. And
Mhm.
so if I've always thought that if you have one or two people in your life that you can completely trust with you, you have a gold mine. And so doing that self-evaluation and being willing to be vulnerable enough to share it with another person whose feedback you value, that you know will shoot it straight. We don't want yes people to be our trusted advisors when we're going through those things. We want people who are willing to listen objectively, who are willing to challenge us, who are willing to question where we are on things. And if you have a couple of people like that in your life, I really do think you've got a gold mine. And that we should all always be in that constant state of checking in on ourselves, making sure we're doing okay.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Your input. You know, I miss doing this.
Yeah, me
It was
too.
a ton of work, but on my end, but I miss it. So I'm really glad we reconnected tonight.
Well,
And
I will tell you, I've gotten some feedback just recently from someone who has become a very big fan of ours and the podcast that we've done. And I was talking to her about it the other day, and I said, you know, what's really great about the, she's like, I miss your stuff. I want you guys to do new things. And I said, well, I'm not saying we're never going to. We're just on a hiatus right now. I
yeah.
said, but the great thing about the work that we've done together is it is timeless.
Mhm.
And that 20 years from now, it's still timeless. So the information that we've brought forth will benefit people.
Mhm.
And so I would think in the future, as time goes by, from time to time,
Mhm.
there's going to be opportunity for us
Mhm.
to sit down and share some things. And so when that opportunity comes, I look forward to it.
I do too. I do too. Because I just have missed just even doing a Zoom conversation with you.
Yeah.
Just, just for y'all to know, I just can't pick up the phone and talk to her. For one thing, I hate talking on the phone anymore. Just who I am.
Me too.
Yeah, Becky's the same way. We don't like to talk on the phone, but I we need to have Zoom. We need to see each other. I need to see in the whites of her eyes. That's just me. Yeah. But that's just who we are. Yeah. So this is very vital for me.
Well, you know, the reason for that, we're both introverts. And
Yes.
introverted people don't do really good with small talk. Introverted people like to jump in and have a conversation. And so, because we're deep conversationalists, there's a lot to be said for eye contact and body language and everything else. And so, you lose that element when you're not on the phone. So, this works for us.
It does. It really does. Well, Becky, thank you so much for joining me to do this
My pleasure.
commercial. Um, so you want to reiterate what I have available now, and it's going to be in the show notes. You want to spit it back
Sure.
up again?
You have a written form of your book. You have a hard copy that people who like to still read books can pick up and turn the pages and read the book. You have an e-copy of your book for people who like to put it on their Kindle, go through the pages, and now you have an audio copy of your book. So those people out there who don't want to read anymore get to listen to it, and I think that's fantastic. So there's three different ways that you're sharing your story, and definitely hear me say, pick up a copy of one of them. The story will change you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely,
That's
and I
awesome.
believe that.
We'll look in the show notes for your links to get all three of those. And who knows, we might be popping up here on YouTube again anytime. I don't know.
Could be soonish.
Could be soonish. Yes, it could be. You're such a hoot.